Today's video, we're going to tackle the challenge of customer churn. And we're going to talk about some retention strategies you may want to implement even in the beginning of the sales process for B2B startup. My name's Gavin Ty. I'm the founder of Sales Market Fit, and I help B2B SaaS companies develop their unique sales strategy for their business and their market so they can begin winning clients and accelerate growth. Now, if you're in a B2B SaaS company, maybe you're a founder and you're having problems with sales, I would almost guarantee 95% of the cases, they do not have a sales strategy. They just have a process, or they're hoping for the best. So this isn't something sales strategist or someone in sales would typically talk about, but I found it is critical to think about reducing customer churn early in the piece. And if you can do that 6, 12, 24 months before a client may be thinking about this, you can implement strategies. It's really far beneficial, and you can actually ward off customer retention and never lose another client again. So let's get into today's video. A customer churn, it's really a consequence of something happening way further or way before that action occurs. Sometimes something could happen 12 months before or during the sales process that is ultimately led to a customer going to churn. Maybe they feel like they were led down a garden path, or the business wasn't quite honest with them, or they had a misalignment of functionality, or the value that you communicated in the sales process has been slowly eroded to the point of, hey, we're not seeing enough value in this relationship anymore. We are now moving off your platform. So here are some of the reasons why customers churn. They can no longer equate value to the purchase or the relationship. The cost of what they're paying has far outweighed what they're receiving. The account hasn't been defended enough, and competitors have been able to get in there and build relationships and communicate their value. Or the relationship has just been taken for granted and people don't feel appreciated, or the businesses don't feel appreciated, and it's just time to move on. So we're going to talk about some retention strategies here that you can implement well into the sales process. So surprisingly, retention strategies can be cemented during the sales process, and if done correctly, can make the complete difference to the mindset of the client when they come on board and put you in a far greater position to hold on to them for many, many, many years to come. So here are some of those strategies. So one of the things that I've been told in my journey as a salesperson is people have a really short memory. Their memory really doesn't go back more than 3 months, and that includes the value that they get from a platform. Businesses quickly forget the inefficiencies that they were having before your product was implemented. So a key part of developing a retention strategy is developing tools to measure and currently reinforce the value that they're receiving from your platform. Now, it's really critical in this process to take a line in the sand before your business is implemented to saying, hey, these are the current impacts of your current processes inside your business. Now, we can do that with a qualitative risk assessment, or we can do that with a quantitative risk assessment that measures monetary benefit. Now, it's important to do this because you want to continually reinforce value during the relationship. Now, as you roll out more functionality on your platform, applying that back to some kind of calculator to saying, hey, this functionality solves this problem within your business, you get this outcome immediately. So they're continually seeing the value that you're bringing to the table as a SaaS business to that organization. And it goes a long way to eliminating that short memory that people have. And also, key buyers could leave that organization and new people could come in, and they may not necessarily understand the value you provide. So it's really critical to run a document or some kind of tool that continually measures and reinforces the value that your platform provides. Secondly, it's really important to create a communication plan. If you're selling something of high value, multiple levels of a business will be involved in a decision making. So it's important that multiple levels inside your organization and their organization have a regular communication plan. This serves as a backup in case key personnel leave your target client. So you have other ways to communicate within that business and plug that hole when someone new comes into the organization. It's also a great way to start identifying any issues when they're really small to address them and fix them before they become massive problems and causes a customer to churn. And this can be set out in the sales process to saying, hey, if you want to come on board with us, we will set out an effective communication plan to ensure we are paying the appropriate amount of attention to you and helping you in your journey so you continually receive value from our platform. Now, part of that communication plan is creating an escalation path for issues that arise. Big issues don't start out as big issues. They can start out as small issues and fester because our clients sometimes may not feel like that they're getting addressed. So it gets unanswered and it grows and grows and grows, and people get angrier, angrier and angrier. Then all of a sudden it turns from a little issue to a massive issue, turns into churn. So by setting out an escalation path that is hopefully aligned with the communication structure of the key people involved in a decision will help you alleviate, escalate problems to get solutions before they become massive problems that cause to churn. Now, one of the biggest challenges when it comes to startups or B2B SaaS businesses in general is the rate at which they release new functionality. They're releasing new functionality potentially every 2 weeks. Now, that could become a real issue in communicating updated functionality to your existing client base. Sometimes they are taken for granted and they go, hey, they're on board, we're so busy, we have a small team, our focus is on winning new clients, we'll get to them later. But if a client does not know the new functionality that's being released, they just may not be paying attention to it. They may see your platform being stagnant or not growing and not seeing the value that is being added and get frustrated, cause them to churn, and that is the issue. So how about setting regular roadshow of every half year or every 3 months or every 12 months to going around continually to your clients and updating them on new functionality that's being released, and more importantly, how it relates to their business. And this is a great way to add that new functionality into those tools that you developed to show how, hey, we released this feature, it produces this outcome and gives you this benefit and reduces this risk or gives you this financial gain. And it's a great way to continually add value to the relationship. Now, the final way is we want our clients to be involved or be invested in our success. So involve them in the product roadmap. Ask them for feedback. Ask them to vote on certain functionality or get their thoughts from an operational perspective on how that feature would apply in the workplace. Now, this is also a great way in the sales process to get prospective clients emotionally invested in the success of your business. If your prospects are emotionally invested in seeing you come on board as a business, they're more likely to push the sale through in their business. It's the same with your current clients. If they're emotionally invested and feel like they have a strong relationship and they like you as a business and the team in general, they are less likely to churn. They are more likely to be honest with you with issues that arise so you can address them while they're still small, opposed to you not checking in with them and them feeling disenchanted with the relationship, them feeling like you don't appreciate them, and then all of a sudden a competitor comes knocking on the door and says, hey, I'm competitor Y, we would love to pay you attention, why don't you come over to us? We would never do what your current supplier is doing, why don't you come on board? That's how we avoid some of these retention issues. And you can start by involving your client, getting them emotionally invested in your product roadmap. So that's some key suggestions on improving retention that can be implemented in your sales strategy right up front when you're interacting with your client. Now, if you like this video, I'd really appreciate if you like and subscribe. If you're having any challenges with sales and you feel like you're missing a sales strategy, why don't you book in a call? My details are below. Let's have a chat. Let's see what you're doing. I'll see if I can point you in the right direction and it might make sense for us to work together. Until then, see you next time.